The Titans lost again on Sunday. They are 1-8, and you're going into the much needed bye week. But you see that score was very close. The Titans had a great opportunity to win this game. But unfortunately, they completely blew. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and this is just another loss at this point. I mean, you're already 1-7. It's kind of all the mindset of everybody that the Titans should just tank the season and kind of just get ready for next year. Trade everybody away, get those draft capital, and then, of course, get a good draft pick. But the Titans, they had their best chance at winning their second game of the season on Sunday. But honestly, they blew it. You started off the first drive of the game or the beginning of the first quarter, and you pick off Justin Herbert. Cody Barton made an amazing play, takes this to the house, and it's a pick six, and you're like, whoa, they're leading. Like, Justin Herbert did not play his best game. I know he had 101 QB rating, 250 yards, 65.5 completion percentage, but the numbers, they're kind of a bit lying. Watching that game, you felt like Justin Herbert did not play his best game, and how bad the secondary was. You saw Samuel Womack out there. It was not great, but Herbert was not great. And the Titans defense actually showed up and got to the quarterback, and you're still missing your best player on defense. If Jeffery Simmons would have played, who knows what would have happened. But the Titans sacked Justin Herbert 6 times. And in one of my keys to victory on that preview video last week, I said that you have to get to Justin Herbert. You have to blitz him because the offensive line is bad. And you saw that Joe Alt, unfortunately, got carted off with an injury, and he might miss the rest of the season. But, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like, well, it's just another loss, and it kind of just feels numb. Like, the players don't really care. Cam Ward still cares, and he's still fighting his ass off to try to at least win a football game and develop into a good quarterback. But the Titans, you can see with the coaching staff, you can see with the other players. The Titans just expect to lose at this point. They're not expecting to win. If they expected to win, good teams find ways to win in the NFL. And you had the opportunity at 2017 on the 1-yard line, and you just went stupid. And I'll get into that in a second. But I want to ask you guys, because I feel like the Titans are numb at this point to losing. Are you guys numb to Titans losses? Does a loss make you mad anymore? Or is it kind of just like, well, it happened. Yep, it's about what it is. Go down in the comments section right now. Talked about the defense, how great it was. The offense was non-existent. MIA. Nowhere to be found. They were driving down the field too, but they could just not find the end zone at all. The defense held strong, but it was the offense that struggled. The Titans scored 20 points on Sunday, which was shocker because the Titans have not scored 20 points much this season. But guess what? None of that came from the offense. You had a pick six, then you had a punt return for touchdown, and 2 field goals. None of that from the offense. And Nick Seuss, who works with the Tennessean, who does a great job covering this team, he's been counting throughout every single week by every single time the Titans cross midfield and score 0 points. And in 8 games this season, or 9 games at this point, 23 times the Tennessee Titans have crossed midfield and scored 0 points. And you see it, but in a new way this time, as they had the ball at the 1-yard line. They are not scoring any touchdowns. And now they have an active streak that goes up against a team I've never heard of. The Dayton Triangles? This is the most consecutive games with fewer touchdowns than opponent. You see all these streaks when they happened. 1942 to 1945, 1976 to 1977, 75 to 76, 1927, 1929, and the Titans are active at 14. And honestly, I think it's just going to keep going up and up. The Dayton Triangles. I've never even heard that team. Have you heard of that team? No. Producer Moose has not heard of that team at all. And you had the opportunity. But Cam Ward, they did not even give Cam Ward a slight chance to be in this football game. It was an okay game. He broke his streak and not throwing an interception, but he didn't throw a touchdown. QB rating is 78.5, only 145 yards. But I blame that on the coaching staff because you're not going to win games throwing the ball 21 times. You have to at least throw 30 times. You have a quarterback that can sling the rock. But why are you only throwing 21 times in a single game? You got the ball down in the red zone. You got past midfield multiple times. Like, what are we doing here? And you were only in this game because of the defense and a guy that you didn't use on offense at all yesterday. And the past 2 weeks, he was cooking. And I just like to say you got an absolute steal in Chimere DK. He might be an all-pro special teamer. He leads the NFL in all-purpose yards because he's an amazing punt returner and amazing kick returner. And he kept you in this game yesterday by returning a punt. And he is a speedy MRFer. Benjamin Zolak, who covers the NFL, he's just even putting on his case. DK has been the best returner in football this season, has a legit case for an all-pro consideration on special teams, and he's a rookie. But you didn't use him on offense at all. I started him in fantasy because the past 2 weeks before that, he was getting 70 yards. They said, okay, we're going to target Alec Manor. And Alec Manor kind of disappointed. But it is what it is. Your Titans lost once again. But we're still making the videos. We're still covering this team. We got the NFL trade deadline coming up. So for up-to-date Titans coverage, sub right now. We are so close to 11,500 subscribers. So if you want Titans coverage all the time, anytime, go ahead and hit that sub button. Coming up on the back half of the show, you got rid of Brian Callahan, but the coaching problems still arise. And with the trade deadline literally tomorrow, it's time to trade everybody. We'll get into that in a second, but first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Did you know Prize Picks invented the flex play? So it means you could still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Now, how do you play? It takes 30 seconds. Yesterday, I decided, I was like, all right, for the Sunday night football game, I'm going to choose one. Made it in 2. Bang, right then and there. Doesn't matter if it's even football. Could be basketball. Could be esports. You choose. Hockey, doesn't matter. But you got to download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, let's talk about it. Because this play calling is some of the worst play calling that I have ever seen in the NFL. And last week we talked about them being too conservative because for some reason the Titans just decided we're not going to go for it. We're not going to go for it on a 4th and 3, and then we're just going to punt it away. And Cam Ward was like, we got to go for it. What are we doing? Well, the play calling has just gotten worse and worse and worse. And it starts with Mike McCoy. And I got two plays, 2 things that I think are just the dumbest play calling that I've ever seen. The first one is the Wildcats. For some odd reason, the Titans decided we're going to implement the Wildcat formation for us. And they tried it once on 3rd and 2 with Tajay Spears, and it did not work. And Paul Kaharski had pretty much the same exact opinion as everybody did. Wildcat stuff didn't come close to working Sunday, produced 0 yards, and they ran it 3 snaps, and 1 was undone by a penalty. They tried it on the goal line, didn't work. They tried it with Tajay Spears, it was 3rd and 2, did not work. Why are you doing this? Like, if you're going to run the Wildcat, you have to have a downhill runner. You have to have a guy that has strength. You have Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. Both guys are like 180 pounds. What are you doing here? Especially on the goal line. Why are you running a Wildcat on the goal line, which your guy is smaller than me? I understand if it's 4 years ago when Derrick Henry is your running back, where you have a bulldozing running back that can go straight through the offensive line, but Derrick Henry isn't here anymore. Why are you running the Wildcat? Are you crazy? And it didn't work. And you kept trying to run it and trying to run it and trying to run it. And that was just awful, awful, awful. And the Wildcat goes into the dumb play calling just at the goal line. At the goal line, plays were terrible. And you tried to run the 2 same exact plays pretty much on the goal line. 3rd and run, you ran the Wildcat. Didn't work. So you decided on 4th and 1, you know what? We're going to do the same exact thing, but not the Wildcat. We're still going to give it to Tony Pollard. This was the 4th and 1 call at the goal line. You go I formation with Tony Pollard, but I'll say once again, Tony Pollard is 190 pounds, 180 pounds. You don't have a strength guy to do that with. And if it didn't work the one time on the goal line with the Wildcat, why would it work differently? 2 straight plays up the middle with Tony Pollard. No QB sneak, no bootleg. Like, what are we doing? At least throw the ball. Pollard isn't strong enough to break through the offensive line. You notice that with the Seahawks, K9 is a speedy running back. He doesn't get any of the goal line carries because they have Zach Charbonnet. He runs up the middle. You need a guy that has strength. Tony Pollard is not one of those players, and neither is Tajay Spears. You have a quarterback. You saw Trevor Lawrence yesterday just dive over the line of scrimmage to get the touchdown and then later win the game. Why don't you do that with Cam Ward? Dumb play calling. You had truly a chance to win the game. It was 20-17. You could have went up 24-20, and how the defense was playing, it would have been perfect. But you ended up losing, and now you're 1-9. And tomorrow's the NFL trade deadline, and the fire sale is coming. I hope making this video right when we're done, as I'm posting this, a trade doesn't happen, because then I got to get back and work everything else. But yesterday, Diana Rossini tweeted this out, and this is 4 different players. The Titans have already traded away Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and Roger McCreary. You got Arden Key, Draymond Jones, Tony Pollard. Tavondre Sweat is building up. And there's a lot more guys. Kevin Zeitler, he could be gone. There's a lot more players that the Titans could be selling. All these guys could be traded by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. 3 p.m. Central Time is when the NFL trade deadline happens. And I'm expecting the Titans to at least make another move, 1 or 2 more trades before we get to that 3 p.m. Central. But when they do, we got you with a video. We're going to make a video telling you all the news that's happened. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to not miss out. And as always, tighten up.